process and that gave us a peace of mind for how to create a financial roadmap for his future. Wow, that's great. Sounds like I need to give her a call. Yes, she definitely helped our son find the perfect college, meet all his deadlines, and help us feel less anxious about the whole process. You need to reach out to her. Just check out educationprepcenters.com and set up a complimentary assessment with Dr. Gina. You'll be so glad you did. Education Prep Centers, college admissions made easy.
Out-of-date carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
When you're hungry for tender brisket or some delicious homemade cobbler, then look no further than Leach Brothers Barbecue, located at 1106 East Henderson, Cleveland, Texas. Leach Brothers has been family-owned and operated since 1950. Take it from me, Taco Joe Orwinski. Todd and his family have been filling my belly breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long time. Heck, I even have my own booth, open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come see them for dine-in, carry-out, and all your catering needs.
The voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Good Friday afternoon to everybody here in somewhat frozen North Texas. It's I'm hoping that this weather before 7-on-7 makes up its mind really quick here. You got some Kleenexes right there. You're good, my friend. You're good. Welcome to MYFA Live After the Whistle. We're excited to have you with us. If you are joining us online today, if you would just drop an L in the comments so we know you're watching live, and an R in replay. And guys, we're really trying to get very interactive with you guys online. So our guest here, they're going to introduce themselves here in a moment. They will be able to answer your questions if you have them. But I wanted to take a second before I introduce our guests to talk about what the MYFA Live After the Whistle show is going to be doing over the next several weeks as we lead into football season. And then we have a fantastic guest lineup. You can probably see them sitting here in studio today. You guys probably know who they are, but if not, you're going to find out real quick. So after the whistle, what we're going to be doing now for the next few weeks is we're going to be introducing every town that is in the MYFA organization. The good news is this is going to lead us right up to tackle football season. When we get into tackle football season, man, it is going to become all about the kids. It's going to be the highlights. It's going to be talking about the quarterbacks, the running backs, the offensive linemen, defensive players, and we're going to have a blast. I do know 7-on-7 is supposed to get started if Mother Nature can make up her mind, and we'll be highlighting those teams and towns that are playing. If you don't know if your town is playing in 7-on-7, please get with your town rep. Check out their Facebook page. Check out their website. Get signed up for 7-on-7 football, and maybe you'll hear your name called. But with that said, let me introduce our guests that are here with us today. We have the Azle Hornets in the house today. Did you guys make it okay? No slipping and sliding? Everybody make it good?
Yes, sir.
Only slippage here is the coffee right now, but we won't, hopefully nobody's seen that. We won't go from there. So what I'd like to do is just a second so everybody knows who's sitting at the table here. We got three awesome guys here. We're able to have a few minutes of a conversation before the show started. From my right, going all the way around, take a minute, introduce yourself, tell us who you are on the board, and let us know who we're talking to today.
Reggie Hill. I'm pretty much the president of Azle Youth Sports. Run basketball, football, oversee everything else, and I make sure everything's heading in the right direction. So,
Brian Patoha. I'm the director of operations for AYS. I help with all the sports, soccer, football. I coach football, so
he's in my division, so we'll have no rivalry talk today. I'm just kidding. Who we got next?
I'm Kyle Betts, and I don't know what my position is on the board, but I'm on the board, and I coach third grade football.
Nice.
And just help out with whatever.
Wonderful. So, how many board members are there total in Azle right now?
we have currently 7.
7
with 2 open spots.
2 open spots.
Yes,
if someone's interested in helping, or is it you that they would contact, Reggie, or is it how does that happen?
It goes through any of us. We're always looking for volunteers. I mean, actually, our last meeting was strictly about expanding and helping out, or finding volunteers to help out. So 100%. Yes.
Good deal. I like that. That seems to be a recurring theme. Everybody that has come on the show is parent volunteers, right? And so I'm going to ask this because I've been pointing this out for every group that we've talked to. I assume that it's all volunteer, right? I mean, you guys aren't making the big bucks right now.
Maybe one of us is, but
I think we're losing money.
And so it's important, parents that are out there. Once again, if you're online, make sure that you're commenting and sharing the show out there with us. So let me ask you guys this. So, I'm fairly new to MYFA, a couple of years in, and, I've had the opportunity to play out in Azle. You guys got that real nice facility out there that you can pretty much smell the lake, the water. It's pretty. It's just a nice scenery out there, right? So what is the shape of Azle football right now? Because I was reading on your website here, it talks about you guys are integrated, it seems like, with the schools. Are y'all doing a lot of work with the junior highs and high schools? Like, what is the path for a football / cheerleader that's going to come in the Azle organization? Is it to get them ready to play high school football, or is it what is your goal with them?
As far as like Azle Youth Sports, I mean, all of our goal is to get them ready to play junior high football. But not only that, we're all in on the culture and building our culture in Azle, and our program is bigger than it's ever been right now. We have over 330 football players.
Wow.
We have almost 200 cheerleaders. I mean, our program is huge, and it's grown the last 4 or 5 years just exponentially, and that's the way we keep it going. So our plan is.
Yeah, and talk to me, you guys as coaches too, right? COVID wiped a lot of stuff out, but it seems sports is bigger than ever now, right? And I can tell you just from my experience in coaching, and you've seen businesses shut down, and God forbid everything that has happened with COVID, but it seems like now more than ever, parents are wanting to get their kids involved in sports, and I think that that's great. But as coaches, there comes some challenges to that, right? And so, talk to me, guys. You guys here at the table as coaches, what's it been like to coach through the COVID pandemic, right? What's it been like for you guys of keeping kids focused? And I've said this a lot of times. Our kids that we're all coaching, and my son, I don't know if you guys have kids that are playing. Man, they're going to have a lot to tell about history when they get to be our age, right? I mean, they don't see it right now, but they really are. How's it been coaching through the pandemic?
I mean, I think that it made the kids want to come out to practice. It made the kids want to, because they were bottled up at home. They were doing online schoolwork. They're not going to school. They're not seeing their friends, and that was an opportunity for them to come out and see their friends and to kind of mingle and to kind of get back. Sports it was the only normal that we had in that time, and not just for the kids but for the parents. The parents really, I mean, I was afraid personally that there wasn't going to be as much people showing up and people coming out there, but we had more people coming out to the field and coming out to practice and coming out just to sit there, just to sit outside and just to talk to their friends and talk to the other parents and just watch their kids, do something outside and with other kids. And I think honestly, and in Azle, it helped us, it helped us more than it hurt us. I mean, it kind of pushed people to go out and sign your kids up and just to get them out and be normal, as normal as you can at that time. That's what it helped us.
100% agree, bro.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, and you said you coached the third graders. What's it been like with the third grade team? And I guess let me just ask also about Reggie. You might be able to know this. The Azle numbers. I mean, what's the projections looking like this year? I mean, is it more growth? Are y'all having to slow the? And I hate to use the word slow the growth down, but the reality of it is if you don't have enough volunteers, it's really hard to have the kids. What are you guys projecting this year?
Well, we'll never slow it down.
Mhm.
We'll always fund the volunteers for sure. But I going into COVID year, that was actually one of our biggest years ever up
Wow.
until last year. So I think everyone was just eager to get, like he said, get their kids out, get them playing, get them involved in something, get them out of the at-home learning, and it's just much better. So I don't know if you want to touch base on coaching third, but it's the same. It was the same. I mean,
Never turn anybody away. I mean,
Right.
we'll take anybody. I mean, you're never going to turn the kids away. I mean,
Yeah.
you'll find the volunteers.
And that's what we throw this term out a lot, and Reggie was a little modest in who he was. So Reggie's another founder of MYFA, right? It's pretty good to say that, right? And so MYFA's founded on a rec league, right? Where MYFA's not prime, it's not it's not supposed to be athletes recruited, right? We can go from there. And as a rec league, you want to give every kid an opportunity to play. And later on the show, we're going to talk a little bit about stuff like that. But, some teams from Azle and highlights and just looking here. So second grade Azle Bazin. Now, this is what's cool about Azle Bazin. I went to school with him and here in Burleson.
Yeah.
And so if he's listening, he will always be an elk.
He's listening. He's most definitely listening.
You're an elk, Bazin. You're an elk. But man, it was cool because I believe it was at weigh-ins. He came up, man, and it was so cool to reconnect. And he had nothing but high praise about Azle. And I was asking him, man, what's it like out there? Obviously we're, coming from Burleson, and nothing but high praise. And you know what? He had a great team. He went 8-0 in the regular season conference title game. Your third grade team, 6-3, went in the playoffs. Pantoja. God, I knew I was going to mess that up. 7-2. I mean, you guys were awesome in fifth grade, second round of the playoffs, and then your team 8-1 all the way in the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir.
What's the expectations, right? Because you have rec, but obviously there's some expectations there in Azle to win. Like, how do you guys translate that to your coaches? Is it, you want to teach skill, you want to teach all that type of stuff, but at the same time, I mean, you guys are winning games.
Yep.
You're good group of football players out there, right? What's the expecectations?
Well, you want me to take this?
I'll take it real quick.
Okay,
Well, we just actually talked
Yeah,
about
well, I was
it.
gonna say
I love it.
Yeah.
We just talked about it. Our expectations are basically, of course, we want to win. I mean, that's what we want to do. But we want the kids, so-called, have fun, but more than anything, want them to play football the next year. We want them to come back to the program. We want them to learn something, the right way. And, learning things the right way, winning comes with that. And then as long as they want to come back and they're having fun and they want to play again next year, whether they want to play for the team they played for or they just want to play football, you're bringing them back, and you did something right if they want to come back and play the next year.
I mean, that's big, right? Retention is everything. And if you can't retain your team, if you can't retain kids to coming back. So how do you guys as a board, and there were some Azle teams that didn't do so hot, right? What do you guys do to help those teams, right? I mean, Reggie, you've been around football for a long time. What do you do to help them to because what I have found in all sports, but definitely youth sports, teams that win, they don't seem to complain. Teams that lose, there's always something wrong. So, and that's in every, and for you parents out there that are listening, doesn't matter what organization you go to, that is in every organization out there. How do you guys help those coaches that may have had a struggle year last year? What do y'all do to help those guys to make sure that they can be on the top like you three sitting here right now?
We always talk about this too, and that's what I was telling you before the show. I think a lot of it comes down to coaching resources. Maybe allowing and offering more coaching resources to each coach in our league. We all draft. We all have 6 protects. We all draft. So at some point, if there's a continuation of a coach not being very successful on and off the field, you got to make changes. You got to make changes for what's best for your program, for a youth program. And we haven't really gone down that road yet, but sometimes that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
It truly is.
Yeah, I mean, youth sports is. I see a whole lot of similarities of youth sports and college and professional sports, and by all means, do we not have the same athletes? And you mentioned something about protects and drafts, and we're going to get into that. But let me ask you guys this: one of the biggest complaints I hear as a coach, and I've heard people talk about it, and I really just want y'all's opinion on it, right? And Reggie, you probably could talk a little bit about this because it's in the MYFA rules, but the 6-play rule, right? As a rec organization, and I'll be honest, I've seen teams take advantage of 6 plays and throw a kid out on special teams only. Their mama's babies aren't getting to play a lot, daddy's babies aren't getting to play a lot. What is y'all's feelings on that, right? Because I get, and I guess, Reggie, I'll ask you this, and I've asked this to multiple people. Is the 6-play rule so folks don't get hurt because maybe they're not athletically there? And you guys can chime in as coaches. Or because, I mean, guys, the league is growing so much, and you get 25 kids on a team. I mean, there's difference in athleticism, right? That's sports. But yet at the same time, we're rec. Like, how do y'all feel about that?
I'll go first, and then y'all can chime in real fast, because I love this topic. Well, I've coached teams with 26, 32 kids. And when you get teams that big, it's awful as far as trying to get everybody 6 plays. But there are, every once in a while, you will have 2, 3 kids that literally, you're just like, oh gosh, I don't know if I want to put them in there or not. You don't want them. It truly is more of a safety reason. I think some people view it as more of a competition. Oh, competitive. Oh, that's how I get to win this or that. But when you have a bigger teams, absolutely 6 plays is it's hard. It's very hard to do. We've never had a problem, at least coming straight to me, about having little Johnny or whoever missed 6 plays. But it can be an issue for sure. 100%.
Yeah. And before you guys chime in, so I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, the MYFA rule is on team splitting is 32 right now, correct? So if you have 32 people on a team, you have to split to make 2 teams. Is that where it is?
34.
34?
Yeah, 34.
34. Okay. And so, I mean, that's a lot of kids. I mean,
I'm saying you get stuck at 32 there. I have in here. So you got to decide.
Right.
Younger kids, it's okay to split. 16 to 16. You get older kids, you do not want 16 fifth graders on your football team. That's awful.
Yeah, I agree. So tell me, guys, how y'all manage it as coaches.
So I'm
I'm messing with him. He doesn't.
That was a joke. That was a joke, parents. That was a joke.
Yeah, right. No, it really does come down to, and I know a lot of people see it different ways, but it comes down to a safety issue as far as, and I don't care if you're grade pure, if you're age pure, I don't care. It comes down to a safety issue. If a kid is just not either A, not developed enough, B, doesn't care enough, he's out there because his parents are making him be out there, which we run into that. Everybody runs into that, right? The kid doesn't want to really be out there playing, but he's out there playing because dad was a superstar, so you're gonna be a superstar too, kind of deal. And that just it comes to the point where I'm not going to this is me personally, it's my opinion, I'm not going to put a kid in a position to get himself hurt or to get another kid hurt.
Right.
And that means I got to play a kid on special teams, then I'll do that. And that's to my discretion. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've seen both sides of it, right? I've seen just kids get put out there who necessarily shouldn't be put out in that situation, that spot, point in the game or the situation of the game, and they do get hurt, or they do get another kid hurt because they're just not there yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's all about growing and learning the game and putting in the work and being better than you were yesterday. Well, if the 6 down rule, I think, is a good thing, just because you do have those kids that maybe they're just not there yet, and they they only want to play those 6 downs.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
and I think that's a good explanation. And for those that are listening, what we're talking about is a 6-play rule that's wrote in MYFA that if your child signs up to play football, they are guaranteed to play 6 plays, no matter what town they're with, Burleson, Azle, Cleburne, Aledo. You're guaranteed to play 6 plays. And I like discussing this because there are parents that are listening. And by the way, if you are listening, if you haven't shared this out, share it out. Drop an L for live. If you happen to be listening to this later, drop an R. I do go back and we do all go back and look at the comments. And if you have questions for the Azle board, they are here as long as they're appropriate. Reggie said that we can ask away. And so if you have questions, please please message them. Then we can actually see where you guys are listening. Now, if you're driving home and you got us turned up in your car, be careful out there. But we're talking about the 6-play rule here. And, guys, at what point in time, and this is kind of as I'm going to keep saying the new guy, because compared to you guys probably been doing this a while. At what point in time does it stop becoming about competition, right, between coaches? That you said something real, kind of tongue in cheek, but it's true, right? Dad wants little Johnny to play because dad was star football player. But I see that happening a lot with coaches in this league, right? Where they want to, let's do this because it does this to impact this, and let's do this. And it's not really about the kids. And, my question for you guys is this, is Reggie, you helped start MYFA. So obviously part of the reason why Azle joined, but how do you guys see MYFA right now, right? How do you see it as far as the growth? I mean, with just added Mansfield, added Weatherford. I mean, we've got lots of towns that are growing, right? Do you like the direction that we're going right now with what's currently, bylaws and stuff we have? I know we're going to talk about some other stuff that's coming. How do you feel as a person that has helped start it?
As of right now, today, I think MYFA is great. I think it's awesome. I think how we've grown has been great. I truly do. There's obviously issues going on right now that we're going to discuss and hopefully figure out a couple of days from now. But I think outside of that, I think adding teams or towns, I should say, it's quality towns. I think it's great. I think it's great.
Yeah, and I don't know how long you guys have been coaching a while, but how do you guys feel as coaching inside of MYFA, inside of Azle? With, one thing I love is a competition, right? For my son that's playing, I don't want him playing in a league that's playing the same town 3 times. Right. Every other week we're seeing the same town. I love the fact that, matter of fact, we had a game, late night game in Azle. It was super late, and man, they had one of the biggest kids I've ever seen on that 5th grade. I mean, this bigger than I was.
I was there,
and
I was closing the field down that night. I saw it all.
Yeah, that was a long night. But you know what? My son had to block him a couple of times, and I remember after the game, he was like, "Daddy, that kid's big," and I said, "That's good for you," and that's what I love about MYFA, right? There's a lot of the football teams here, but that's what I love.
Just so you know, that kid is actually playing up. Just so you know,
that kid's a monster. He's tall, he's big, right? And he just hard to push.
He's young.
No, when it comes to it, spread across basically the Metroplex, the competition, you couldn't ask for better. I mean, you've got big towns versus small towns, but you take small towns, take someone like Brock. I mean, they're a small town, but they can compete with anybody.
Yeah.
And then you've got Mansfield, that's huge. And then you got Brock competing with them, or you got Aledo. I mean, Aledo and Azle, we're big, high schools, but town wise, we're not huge, but everybody's competing with everybody. And I don't think there's just top and that's it. I agree. I think it's,
I agree. My fear, if I'm being honest with you guys, is I think there's such a thing of taking something that is good and moving it too much, and then it becomes bad. Right. And, water cooler talk, I'm not a part of the MYFA board. Matter of fact, I go sit in the meetings for show content, and that's about it. And some of them are long, and I'm hoping this Sunday is not as long as last Sunday, but it might be. Good but luck. They say good luck. But one of the things that I've heard that does get frustrating is and this is water cooler talk, not anyone particular, but people are like, well, if it doesn't go my way, I'm taking my ball and going home. I mean, that's crap, right? We don't want that. We want, and that's where I hope that.
What do you mean? Tell me, explain. Give me an example.
Well,
what are we talking about here?
Like we have teams that, and we're going to talk about it next segment.
Teams or towns?
Towns.
Okay.
So we'll talk about it next segment as a segue, right? But there's some pretty big vote changes that are potentially happening. We talked a little bit with Alito and going from here. And what I have, heard through the grapevine is, and this is not anyone sitting at this table, but it's like, hey, if this doesn't go our way, we can go start another league. And my thing is for the kids, like there's nothing, in my opinion, better right now. Now I agree that we could break it, and I don't want it broken. And I feel like right now, that MYFA is really doing some good things. They got some things that I think they need to work on, but competition wise, I've tried to look around. I don't see any other organizations, and Reggie, you can tell me if there are. I don't see any other organizations that even come close to the size of the competition that MYFA offers. I mean, would you guys agree or disagree with that?
Well, if you not if you go to a rec league, so you have North Texas, Northwest Texas, not North Texas, but Northwest Texas, and you have your Saginaw and Lake Worth and your Waxahachie and all those towns in that league over there. And I know Weatherford just joined joined back. They left to go over there, and then they're back now. But I don't think that we do have the best competition in MYFA right now. I mean, in the Metroplex, in rec football, we do. Now you have your Texas Sports, who's your select leagues, who's over. They play their league or whatever. But we do have the best competition right now in MYFA the way it is. And I feel like, I don't know if this is another segment or whatever. This could be discussing another segment.
Maybe we got a few minutes, but we'll try to squeeze it in.
But I mean, well, I think that Sunday is going to tell all, and it's going to, in my opinion, it's going to make or break MYFA. And I think MYFA is a good thing right now, but we'll see where we go.
So let me catch the parents up that because we got a lot of Sunday innuendos going on right here, and I want to make sure that they understand what we're talking about. So once a month, MYFA gets together, and and Reggie, correct me if I'm wrong, but between the end of football season until, is it May or June, that's the opportunity that quote unquote bylaws, rules changes, all that stuff can be adapted and modified through MYFA. Is that correct?
I don't know if it goes all the way till May, but we do allow several months. Towns join in. Us trying to recruit other towns. But yeah, but yes.
Okay.
Yes, there is a time from when football ends till
until the next part
ready to go.
Get started. So what we're going to talk about, folks, in the next segment is as we come up to it. So this coming Sunday, there's I think it's a vote. Maybe it's more of a 4-hour discussion. I'm not sure what it is.
It's a vote.
It's a vote this Sunday. Okay. So there's a vote coming up this Sunday, and it's a pretty big vote. And I'm going to try to explain it the best that I can. And then we'll get, of course, Azle's opinion on how they feel that it should go down and go from there. And so when you guys hear talk about, this Sunday being a big deal, it is big because we have a potential couple of rule changes that could affect the way towns operate and play football. Is that a good way to put it, to segue into after our break here in just a second?
Yeah, we'll dive right in.
We're going to so trust me, you don't want to miss this here in just a few minutes, guys. And like I said, if you're tuning in with us, please share this out. Our next segment is going to be powerful. We're going to talk about some fun stuff that's going on here. We've got the Azle Hornets in-house with MYFA Live after the whistle. I hope you're going to join it. We will be back in just a minute. Thank you.
Wilfred Brimley for Loafing Dog.
I'm Wilford Brimley for Loafing Dog. When I get the hankering for a hot dog, I go to Cleburne, Texas. Just a couple blocks off the square, they got Loafing Dog. They got the Neely Dog, the Mary Sunshine Dog, the Casey Dog, and the Shirley Dog. Why, they even got the Pacer Dog, the Brooklyn Dog, and the Gym Dog. Can't forget the Shane Dog, or the Joy Dog, and the Monty Dog. I like that fool. Then the Kia Dog and the Braxton Dog round things off. Why, they even got a kids menu too.
Loafing Dog, 208 East Chambers Street, Cleveland, Texas. Lunch, catering, or takeout, plus outdoor seating. Phone numbers 817-556-1040.
This is Wilford Brimley, and don't forget, Loafing Dog won't give you diabetes.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
All right, welcome back to MYFA Live After the Whistle. We got a lot of comments on here. Chad, who was in with us last week, says Coach Against Bets, Flag, one of the best coaches in the league. Samantha Hill says, Mike, are you the victor? I can't tell you. No, I am not. I am not. Please, nobody come up here to the radio station. Okay. I am not. So let me take care of some house cleaning stuff here real quick. Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is on the Live 365 and TuneIn Radio Network. To listen, go to the tuneinjoco.com and download the free app. All of our shows can also be found on any one of your favorite podcast platforms such as Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, and Speaker. Check out our lineup and more on jococommunityradio.com. And thank you guys for tuning in. This episode and more is brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. If you have any questions about your insurance, reach out to the Texas sales rep, Nona Reed, at 844-TEX-HAIL. That's 844-839-4245. And also for all you coaches out there, if you have not got your tackle uniform bids in, this show is also brought to you by Versus Uniforms, that doing tackle and actually doing all sports uniforms. You can reach out to them at 817-308-6064. Going back to our comments on here, once again, I'm not Victor. We have the Azle Hornets in-house today with us, and we got a lot of comments here. Let's see here. I'm not going to read Jimmy Moreland's comment because I'll read it. It says the guy in the gray hat is cute, so I ain't wearing the hat. So you kind of got two gray hats here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on here in Azle. Okay, going from there. So guys, we got the Azle Hornets in the house. If you are listening online, please share this out. Drop us an L. If you have some comments, please drop some comments in here. We will get to them if we can. But guys, let's pick up right where we left off. Right. Big vote on Sunday. So once again, we've got a vote coming up on Sunday. Let me lay this out to our audience, and then we'll get Azle's opinion about this vote and kind of where you guys potentially see it. So this Sunday, one of the things that's going to be voted on, talked about, is versus age pure versus grade pure. And for our listening audience out there, what that means is this. Right now, MYFA is a grade pure organization. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what that means is if you are in first grade, you play with first graders. If you're in second grade, you play with second graders, third grade, etc., things of that nature. The vote on the table is to potentially change that from grade to age pure. So what that would mean is that you would have things like 6U, 7U, 8U, 9U, etc., things of that nature. There is some, I don't know what the town split on it is. I know that I've been told there's a ton of emails that go back and forth on this. Once again, I'm not a part of the MYFA board, so I don't see the emails, but Reggie does. And so let me just start off with this. Give me Azle's opinion on grade pure versus age pure and why. I think that's huge for the audience as to why.
Well, let's if you want to back up, if you want to truly talk about MYFA and how it was formed,
lay it out.
I guess we'll say it was formed. NCT, which was North Central Texas football, and then Brazos Valley, we negotiated. Not even negotiated. Came together, and the very first thing that we brought up on the NCT side was we have to be great.
Okay,
that's where we've been for 12 plus years. It works. It builds programs. But literally, that was the very first thing that we even said that this is not a negotiable thing.
Okay.
They actually said no, we're not. It's fine. So they left us alone for a few days, and then we got back together a few days later. And they said okay. So on their end, they compromised, which the word compromise keeps being flown around everywhere. But they compromised on their end to let's go grade pure. And
I just want to interrupt you for a second. When Reggie's saying that is Brazos Valley, correct? Because this was the merger of Brazos Valley and NCT. Okay.
And everything was great. I mean, everything's been great. Even at the first year, our feedback in the COVID years you talked about was, man, we love grade pure. Grade pure is awesome. We have more turnout. There's more teams have been produced. And I don't want to dive all into everything else yet.
Yeah,
but
no need.
But it was a great thing. And 2 years into it, I mean, it's where it's at right now. That's where we're at.
So I assume by your comment that you guys are to continue grade pure, and I would like to know why, and then I do have a comment about the original formation that I would like to ask you guys. So let's just work our way around, because when I look at the numbers versus grade versus effective, and I got this packet here and I've gone through it, and I know it's passed out to everybody. There's not a whole lot of kids that are affected if it goes grade to age right now, right? But there are some. But why stay grade? What is the? You guys said that was a must when you joined. Why was it a must? Like, what is it about grade pure that you're like, look, man, this is the way to go? Because I think, and you guys have been around longer than I have, isn't most football places age pure, like around or is it just a big mixture?
It's a big mixture.
Okay, so tell me why grade pure.
So it's a mixture. It used to all be like North Texas is now.
Okay.
First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, which is the same thing that all the Brazos Valley has been for the last 138 years that they've been around, or whatever it is. They've been first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. We agreed to kind of play with them and merge and stuff, and that was a big, like Reggie said, that's a big sticking point was the grade pure.
Sure.
You see a lot more age pure, or not a lot more, but there are some age pure leagues now, and it all stems from quote unquote the safety issue, right? And it's safer to play with your own age instead of your own grade, because you have kids who are older who are held back and whatever. I don't think that's if you're talking about safety, that's not the caveat to the whole let's be safe and let's go age pure, right?
Well, tell us why, right? Because I can tell you, let me just use my son for an example. He was on the young side of fifth grade last year. There were some people that he played against that were well over almost 2 years total older than he was, right? And I said this to Chad when they were in here. We briefly talked about it, but if MYFA goes age, and this is my opinion on it, right? There has to be an age group in every category, because it does no good to kick the can to the older kids, right? Because, in my opinion, I don't want a 13-year-old hitting a 10-year-old, just like I don't want a 7-year-old hitting a 6-year-old, right? And so safety concern wise, I've heard the same type of thing. And so my question for you would be is this: is that what is the magical month? Because I don't know if that's the right terminology, but what is the good separation for physicality for kids? Because 20 to 24 months, that's a big window.
So when you're talking about grade and age, so if you're talking about a kid who's supposed to be in third grade playing against a kid that's supposed to be in second grade, right? Let's say that's an 8-year-old and a 7-year-old or whatever it is. There's not much of a physical difference in that, right? But then when you say we want age pure, but then our 5th and 6th graders need to play, our 11 and 12-year-olds need to play together, right? Well, it's just how nature is. There's a lot of kids who turn 12 who are just they are that dude at that point, and you have these kids who are turning 11 who aren't there yet, who haven't hit that puberty stage yet, who haven't done those things yet. And so there's you can't say, oh, it's all about safety and it's because we want age to play with age, except for at the highest level of contact, which is your 5th and 6th grade level. That's when real football starts getting played. We all know that. That's when real hitting starts. That's when kids really start bringing it. And so you can't say, oh, it's about safety here, but up here, it is what it is,
And also, I'm not trying to interrupt you, but you show me the youngest kid in the grade versus the oldest kid in the grade, and the oldest kid in that grade does he even play? Is he? We talked about 6 plays or 6 play minimum kids, right? Well, how do we not know that those older kids are 6 play kids?
Right.
How do we know? Age is just one aspect of a grade, right?
Sure.
I mean, you have social development, you have mental development, you have maturity, you have everything possible in a grade in each grade. It's not just how old they are. Oh, well, that kid he's 18 months older, so he's automatically going to be better. No, who says that? It's impossible to pull data and be legit with that. It's impossible.
And I think your point is valid, and I want to go to what you guys all you guys have talked about is and I think we can agree, not kicking the can down the road. But some of the stuff that you talked about those physical difference, what I've seen, if MYFA was to stay grade pure, those physical difference would be there because of the potential of folks that are held back. Because what I've noticed with kids, I agree with you, younger age groups, there's a lot of, besides flag, and if you got first graders playing flag, that's a whole nother story. But besides flag, when you get into tackle, I believe those younger age groups, but it is when it gets older, there's moments I've seen light bulbs. Like I've watched kids on our team last year that the year before they just physically weren't there, and all of a sudden it just started clicking with them. And my fear with, and I'm playing the devil's advocate, right, guys? If we're all grade pure and we got a 6th grader, but we have a kid that's been held back, maybe he's not the stud player, but at any moment he could become that and come into his own, right? I mean, he could come into his own at any moment. There's physicality differences on there. And so, I understand the safety measures. I kind of agree with you. I don't know that it's all about safety. And I haven't been a part of all the meetings, and if that's what all this is centered around, I think that there needs to be a little bit deeper dive inside of that. But my question, going back to you on the voting of it, is that does age pure not kind of solve what you guys just talked about?
Well, can I
yeah, please
explain something about the grade too?
Yeah,
everybody just keeps saying grade, right? Well, each grade still has a age cutoff.
Okay, talk about that.
So
I think that's important.
Everybody keeps forgetting, age. Oh, do they want to go age or grade? No, well, our grade still has a cutoff. 5th, 6th grade is 12U. You cannot be older than 12, which is the same as 12U.
Okay.
And then it goes all the way down, 11U, 10U, all the way down. It goes all the way down. And most of the time, 99% of age pure leagues, they have a 12U, then they have a 10U.
Okay.
Right. So what you kind of touched on a little bit earlier. So now we have the 11-year-olds, the 5th graders, we're forcing them to play with 6th graders. That makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
We want to talk about safety, and this all got brought up because of safety, which I do not believe it's because of safety. That's my own personal opinion. I do not think this is about safety at all. You want to talk about safety? Let's talk about weight. Right. You just talk about being physical. Well, Burleson and Crowley, I'm using those two towns out. I mean, I'm not
y'all show. You feel free to talk.
I'm saying they're the heaviest teams throughout the league.
Okay.
Azle, Brock, Alito, even Alito, they are weight wise per team towards the bottom.
Okay.
So to me, a 90-pound kid hitting a 50-pound kid is way more important versus if that 90-pound kid is 10 years old and the 50-pound kid is 9.5 years old. It's no. If you want to really truly talk about safety, there's a whole another avenue we can go down versus just age.
So is part of the things that MYFA should talk about is weight to run the ball and stuff?
I was 100%.
I think it's more than running the ball.
It's not even that. It's if you're coaching, you coach, right?
Yeah.
City coach.
Yes, sir.
So if you're at practice, okay, you're not gonna allow a 90-pound kid to go against a 40-pound kid on your team.
Right.
It's just not gonna happen. I would hope not. I would hope not.
No, because we would be like that YouTube video that got out.
Right.
Y'all remember that video that got out there?
Yes, the kid gets destroyed. Yeah, but
NFL come calling down to MYFA. No, we ain't doing that. That's for sure.
But you're not going to run up to that 90-pound. Hey, what's your birthday? You're September 2nd. You're going to run with little Johnny. Hey, when's your birthday? You're going to say, April. You're not going to do that.
Right.
They're in the same grade. They're classmates. They're buddies. They're boys. You're not going to allow that to happen. I would hope not. And I hope anybody would not allow that to happen. So we can't just say a pure age is what's driving this whole thing. It's not for safety wise, at least. No way.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back at you on that because I agree with you, right? We had kids on our team that were small and we had some that were big, right? And hopefully no coach in their right minds putting them up against each other. And we don't want the NFL come calling down about our poor tackling stuff. But with that being said, right, I'm going to go back to it's hard to regulate weight unless you're regulating running the ball, right? You can't tell a kid that's 11 years old or in 6th grade, hey, you've ate way too many cheeseburgers, because I can tell you on our side, most kids that were way overweight weren't athletically enough to play on the field at all. Right. And so it's one of those type of things, and brings me right back to the grade thing, right? Versus age. If you're saying all 11-year-olds play with each other, right? 11U and all 10U play with each other and 9U and 8U and stuff like that. I'm trying to figure out how that does not solve the parity. Cause I don't know who Matt Dickerson is. I don't know if he's with you guys. He said grade is good for kids to play with classmates. Age is good for overall parity and safety. Kind of right there on the fence, right? Which one do we go? And I kind of understand that because on the flip side, as a dad, my kid's in 6th grade this year. And when he goes into 7th grade, I mean, he's playing 7th graders, right?
7th grade doesn't matter, right? I mean, now also if he's in 5th grade and he's one of the younger ones, right? He's young. Well, okay, he doesn't play his age. Now he's gonna be one of the older ones, one of the very oldest. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and
it's pretty much essentially it's the same thing.
Yeah, and for me, I wouldn't have my son play down with.
I was giving an example, not
your
your son,
yeah,
but people.
You're dead on there, and that's why I agree with you. This vote is big, and you guys started off with this is what MYFA was founded upon, and what I would hope is this though. MYFA was founded upon that principle, but we have added towns that they've expressed interest, from what I understand, of going to age pure, that as the league evolves and develops, that those things, if it's the right call, are taken into consideration. I don't have the answer to it, right? I see both sides to it. I see where, here's what I don't want it to be about. And you were kind of alluded to this, so I'm just going to say it. I don't want this to be about coaching competition.
Well,
right.
That's what it's. I think that's
and this is MYFA Live After the Whistle. We don't hold back here, and we're not going to talk about any individuals, but I don't want it to be about coaching competition. And I have heard that around the water cooler. Oh, well, this person's doing this because he wants this, and this town wants this because they want this, and this town wants this. The reality of it is that I would hope the adults in the room are going to come together and say what is best for the rec football league and kids, because if we can't do that, we're not teaching our kids anything, right? I mean, we're not teaching them anything. And look, I love what you guys do for Super Bowl rings. I mean, they're sick. I had the pleasure of getting one. My son was in 3rd grade, and they're awesome. But I'm sorry. It's your deal.
I'm sorry.
It's your show.
You brought up the new towns coming in, and it's awesome. It is absolutely awesome. But we established a league, right? We established a league. We said, hey, this is how our league is going to be. We're grade. We go by grade. We have all these bylaws, rules. So when they come to our league, they know what they're coming into, right? So it's not fair to say, well, you got the news guys, new towns coming in, and they want to change things.
Sure.
That's not fair. You knew what we worked our butts off for to set up and get going, and this is how we establish our league.
So can I counter that with this?
Yeah, go ahead.
I agree with you, but I mean, you guys are smart guys, right? I don't know what you guys do for a living, but as businesses go, if a business stays stagnant, it's hard to grow. And this goes way past the grade versus age, right? But if we have the adaption of more towns, and I'm not just talking about Mansfield and Weatherford, but from what I understand, there's a list of towns that want to join, and y'all have even told people no, right? Why would we not take anything into consideration? Because what I love about MYFA, and I've told people on this show, and I'll tell our listening audience again, MYFA's it's supposed to be ran by the people, the towns, right? And so if we have, that's not fair to say to a new town that comes in like, hey, this was founded on this, drink your coffee and leave this alone. And I'm not saying that's not what you're saying, but I think we have to at least be open to it, right?
But
I was going to say, I'm not, but I will tell you this really fast. Then they can talk.
Thanks.
You're halfway. You're halfway right. You're halfway right. But on the point of that is a new town coming to any league, not just MYFA, any league.
Right.
They should not. I say they. I'm not even speaking for MYFA right now. I'm speaking just in general. In a league, a football league, if a new town comes in, they know what they're coming into, and they should be on probation for a year to have a say or a vote in anything. That's just how 90% of leagues are ran. To voice their opinions. Why would you come to the league and then throw up your hands up? Why? Let's change this or that. Not even age grade.
Yeah,
I just want to go.
That's
to
just how it goes.
Go ahead.
Reggie, you've talked too much.
I know.
I'm
sorry.
Hey, you're good.
No,
This is the Azle show.
No, he is definitely the voice. But I just got a question when you went back when we're starting. You talked about a business going stagnant.
Yeah.
Well, I don't feel any of this has gone stagnant.
No.
For a change. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, the newer towns coming in. I mean, I think obviously this age grade thing's kind of a hiccup, but other than that,
it's been good, right?
What's been wrong?
It's been great.
I got to say, Reggie, this is
Share
your
the
wife,
mic.
right?
No, it's his wife.
Oh, it says Reggie loves to talk football. Give everyone a chance. Couple of comments.
No, that is my wife.
Oh, okay, it is.
So,
You're gonna be in trouble.
I'll
Before you
stop.
respond, I just want to read some of these. Someone asked the question: will Azle be playing at the high school again? I'm not sure. I didn't think y'all played at the high school, but maybe
Matt Dickerson. Well, we have not talked about that yet. We don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Stinger
I don't want.
baby. Stinger Field.
I like Stinger Field. Coach,
Field.
give me your reply. I know you've been patient.
Yeah, I'm the patient one of all of us. But
But he talks the longest.
right.
I'm just kidding.
We got 5 minutes, Coach.
I got 5 minutes in me. So we talk about all these other towns joining and the league staying the same or growing or whatever. My worry or what opinion or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
So you have the MYFA executive board. Why is there not a town rep from each town on that executive board? I feel like the whole Brazos Valley and the Power Five come in and they all got voted into these positions.
Okay.
And some other people got not voted off, but not voted back in. That just kind of that kind of rubbed me the wrong way because there's nobody from Azle on that board. There's nobody from Mott Settlement on that board. There's nobody. I just feel like there was so NCT and Brazos Valley kind of merged to make this MYFA thing, right? And there's one NCT representative on that executive board, and I think they're from Eaton. But what happened to if you're going to have a league, you need to have a voice from every town.
Sure. And I'm not on the MYFA board, but in their defense, and I think Reggie, you can attest to this, the executive board means nothing though to MYFA because the towns control it anyway.
Yeah, that's honestly what I've been trying to tell everybody. I was on the executive committee for 2 years, and when you're up there, you present things.
Besides getting a bunch of crap, right?
Yes, yeah, dealing with this and that, and you know what? And I'll give Rob a shout out. Rob does a good job. Rob does a great job. But
don't get the big head, Rob. I know you're listening.
It's way better on the other side because now you can really truly voice your opinion. and
Yeah, and
that's how it goes.
And that's my thing is that, and I don't disagree with you. And here's the way I say it is, if it's truly the way that it says and the way I've seen it, and I think that's something town reps should bring up, right? If we want to have a representative from everything. But what I've seen from the executive board is that they can't really do anything. It has to be voted on by, like this coming Sunday, right? I think there's probably a couple people on the executive board, if they had their way, they would hit that gavel and say we're age pure, but it's going to be voted on, right? It's going to be voted on. And that's what I like about it. And, going back to what I was saying earlier about, I heard you make a comment and I wanted to address it about, Newtown's coming in a year probation. I don't know personally, I would agree to that. And once again, I don't have a say on it because of this. If you're coming into an organization in towns, they pay dues, right? That's what's paid. They pay to play football, etc., things of that nature. You should have a voice in the room. And the voice is one of, what is there, 18 now? I think that's the number, 18, maybe 20, some that's one of 20. And I mean, if you've got the influence to move the mountain, we need you probably running for some politician stuff in there if one of 20 can do that. But I get where you're coming from, and I want to make sure that we get this on the record. Azle is for staying grade pure, right? I think we've kind of grade pure. 1,000%.
But honestly, we have 2 minutes, and you could not convince me that age is better.
I want to
give me even one reason why.
I'll give you one reason why it's not, and I got 2 minutes.
It's not safety.
So here's the deal. So in our grade this year, right? White Settlement was in the Super Bowl against Brock. Right?
Yep.
Brock was obviously the older team in our grade.
Yep.
It's on paper. It got put out there. Brock had the most kids who could be in sixth grade.
Okay. Yeah. Team. Sure.
White Settlement had the least amount of kids who could be in sixth grade playing on their team.
Yep.
And they were in it, and they're in it every year, for the past 3 years. So you can't convince me that age and grade is that much of a difference when you have these kids competing at the highest level in our league, and they're in it every year. I mean, they're there, and it was they were one bad call away. Sorry, Ray Sains, I called you out on that bad call. Don't throw the ball there, but that they were in it, and I just feel like that right there proves that age and grade really doesn't matter.
And with the interest of time, I see your point on that. And Justin, Coach Whitehead has popped up here, says that Newtown should have a say. It brings new ideas, a catalyst for growth. And unfortunately,
after that 1 year of probation, it should be. That's how it should be.
Whitehead, why don't you stay one more year? Whitehead, one more year, baby.
So, guys, in wrapping up this, I have to ask this as we end the show, and you guys have been great today, right? I'm so glad you came on.
Thanks for having us.
And I asked this to Lido too. I know that you're 100% for grade pure, but if the right proposal of age pure came out, would you at least consider it?
I don't know what the right proposal is.
And hopefully we find out Sunday, right?
There's so many proposals, and we have 10 seconds. So many proposals going around right now.
Hey, I give a shout out to Coy Offen. I told him I would. He's the guy that's missing.
Yeah, he's the other coach.
Is that the camera out there? Azle.
That's it.
Azle.
Hey, we appreciate Azle being on with us today, guys. This has been an awesome show. I hope to have all you guys back. Good luck Sunday at the meeting. This is MYFA Live After the Whistle. Thanks for joining us.
Back next Friday.
We're out.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your